Good evening, everyone. The Clayton County Board of Commissioners work session is now called to order. The date is July 8th, 2025, and the time is 5:34 p.m. We will now move on into our preliminary part of our work session. Board members at this time, or board member at this time, are there any preliminary items that from the June 15th board meeting that you would like to discuss at this time?
From the July 15th?
I'm sorry, July 15th board
no.
meeting. Hmm?
No, they're not.
All right, seeing none, we will move on to our work session agenda items. The first one will be Board of Housing Authority update, and that will be for Mr. Mandalay Jones. Mr. Jones, please come forward.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, awesome. How are you?
Hambrick, how you doing?
Fine.
Let me thank you all, first Board of Commissioners, for this opportunity. I won't keep you all day. I want to, if you don't mind, I want to start by formally introducing my board. Is that okay?
Yes.
Can I call the Housing Authority
Come on
board
up.
to the front really quickly? Don't look like that. So Board of Commissioners, I have a really strong board. We are partners, meaning Board of Commissioners, the Housing Authority. We listen, we hear. We're focused on the things that you want to accomplish, we want to accomplish, and expect to do great things in Clayton County. We know you do too. And so I'm going to say reintroduce, because you probably know most of the folks on our board, if not all. But I want to start with my board chair, Dr. Candace Jackson.
All right.
All right. Our
Dr.
vice chair, Ms.
Jackson.
Hilda Myers-Reeves.
All right.
Ms. Brenda Harrison.
Oh.
Robert Payne.
Robert.
And we have one other board member, Ms. Rose Hall, who's, I'm assuming, on her way.
All right.
But again, thank you for this opportunity. I want you all to know this board, we plan to enhance Clayton County from a housing perspective, and we have a two-pronged approach to do so. So first, we're leading the creation of a path to home ownership for Clayton County residents. That's important to this board, it's important to me, and we're focused on that. We're working to attract a new housing stock to Clayton County as well. And the housing stock that we will attract will be great for folks at every level in Clayton County. So first-time home buyers, move-up buyers, affluent buyers. The need for all three is there. The numbers tell us that, and we plan to be effective in that space and to do that. We're also working to help the residents that are currently here. So my board has approved our ability to provide 1 month's rental assistance, mortgage assistance, or utility assistance for qualified Clayton County residents. We do that because we want to help folks stay in their homes. We also provide a grant for qualified Clayton County residents to help repair the older housing stock that we know is here. We have a special focus on seniors and veterans, but it's for any Clayton County resident that qualifies. And we do that again because we want to support the current housing stock that's here. I want you all to know we've heard you when you talked about the importance of no tax abatement at a minimum for the next 3 years, and my board has agreed to that. We heard you. We heard you when you said mixed use development is where we're going. We need to find ways to keep our tax dollars in our county, and so we support that 100%, and I want you all to know that.
Thank you.
Some of the ways that you all could help us, because partnership is big, it's big for us, we should be partnering. Any property that you may want to donate, could donate to the Housing Authority specifically to be developed, to expand homeownership opportunities, we would love that opportunity. Funding for staff to give us the ability to assist more residents with utility assistance, grants to support the older housing stock, all of those things. Please keep us in mind as you think about that and as opportunities present themselves. And then lastly, again, we talk a lot about development, live, work, play, all those types of things. My board has supported those things. We want to be a part of those things, and we're actively looking to create those types of opportunities in support of what you all want to accomplish or what we want to accomplish. What questions do you have for us?
Commissioner Hambrick.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I do have a question. But I think most of the board members are new, or, well, they were not here at the time. We were going back and forth and all. And is our attorney here? Is
Mr.
Is
Reed.
Chuck here? Oh, no, he doesn't need to come
Okay,
up. He's
okay.
fine. But we were going, I'm informing them of back a couple of years ago when we were going back and forth with the Housing Authority. It was like a I'm against you kind of thing. So I'm hoping that that will not persist, in the future,
I
whatever,
don't,
because
that's not the spirit in which, I hear things that we want to work. No, it's, no,
Okay.
it's more about supporting each other
Okay.
and doing what's best for Clayton County.
because-
I haven't experienced that.
Well, we experienced that.
You experience, okay.
The BOC experienced that.
Okay.
And I'd say that's not in the spirit of where we want to work. And I'm not sure
Agreed.
what your training is, if your training is done here in
So we've
Clayton
done a
County.
combination, but we are doing board training, and my board is eager to continue to
Okay.
enhance their training and knowledge around being a
Right,
commissioner
because the
for housing.
board was formed years ago by the BOC at that time to be helpful to the county, to do things that the BOC could not do, financial and all. And in my training, because I once served on the Housing Authority Board,
And so-
and in my travels, the thing they would say is that, well, the other boards from the other states would often say that they were proud of what the Clayton County Housing Authority Board was doing, because we were more of, and I still say we are more of a financing board, because a lot of people get us or you all mixed up with the Housing Authority of Jonesboro, who does the Section 8 and all. So
Yes.
I'm constantly informing people, no, that's not what the Housing Authority of Clayton County is all about. So it really wouldn't be a bad thing if we did have something like a financing board or whatever. So, but thank you all so much for what
Thank
you
you for
do
having us. Yes,
for
thank
Clayton
you for
County.
having
But
us.
I'm hoping that we will do better, because I think we were being charged, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct, Chuck? We've been charged for records request and all. Is that correct? I just want to make sure I'm speaking correctly here. And
So
I'm
that may have
thinking-
been in the past, but in my 2 years here, there's been nothing like that, and I don't foresee anything like that. I hear you, but I don't foresee anything like that.
Okay.
We're here in the spirit of partnership,
Yes,
truly.
thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. That's what I'm hoping.
Do you have any questions?
I have two questions. I want to say, first of all, thank you all for coming out tonight. Again, we have to partner. You all know I'm with communication, collaboration, consistency.
Yes.
And we've talked, we've met with other municipalities, and we've got to, again, always continue to move Clayton forward and
Definitely.
working together in a spirit of collaboration. And so one thing I just want to say to you all, number one, thank you for everything that you all do as far as your service to this community. And thank you for what you're about to do. Paying forward, helping with helping our homeowners and people who are having problems with their rent, things of that nature. That has been a big catalyst throughout our county, because people have been saying, how am I going to pay my rent? How am I going to do this? And how am I going to, where is the money coming from? And we have not gotten many people stepping up to the plate. So the first thing I want to ask is, when will that start, and what are the qualifications? Who will qualify? Because I want the citizens to hear through this work session, and I want it to be very clear today, so as we move forward, people will know, who we will be taking care of.
So we need you to be at 50% or below area median income, and we have a way of determining that. But going to our website, coming to our office, we can help determine that, work
Okay.
with you to help determine that, and we're going to assist as many people as we can. We always do.
Okay, and so is it just homeowners, or is
So
it?
homeowners for the grant.
For the grant.
Homeowners for the grant, to revitalize, like I said, the older housing stock. But you don't have to be a homeowner for the rental assistance.
Rental
mortgage
assistance.
or 1 month's utility assistance.
Okay,
Yes.
so thank you for.
Yes, it's for anybody.
Also, we have House ATL, which is coming.
Yes.
And Mr. Jones will be on a panel discussion for House ATL. And can you just tell us about who House ATL is and what that partnership is?
Yeah, so I'm not an expert on House ATL.
I know, I
Yes, but I will tell you they have asked me to come and speak to the great things, again, we're going to do in Clayton County, specific to housing. So it's an umbrella organization. I'll just say in a nutshell, an umbrella organization that works across the metropolitan area focused on housing. And so we have asked, hey, there needs to be some additional attention in Clayton County. It's a great opportunity here. And so that's one of the primary reasons why we have this opportunity coming up.
Oh, good. That's going to be a great experience.
It's gonna be a
because
great experience.
As we talk about the ARC, that is one of the visions that we have for all of our counties and
Yes.
surrounding counties, for us to work together for housing instability. So that's going to be a great opportunity, and I just love the fact that it's going to be right here in Clayton County.
Me too.
Great things are happening right here in our county, and so again, thank you all for what you do, and thank you for what you're going to continue to do. Anything else? Would anybody in the board members like to say anything at this time?
I have something.
Okay, and Commissioner Hambrick.
Yes. Do you all still have the HUG program?
Yes, that's the.
Will you, tell
yes.
us about
So
that.
the HUG program, I'm
And-
sorry, I should have given the HUG Housing Urgency Grant Program. That's a grant up to $10,000 for qualified Clayton County residents, again, to help support homeowners and their needs related to heating and air, plumbing and electrical,
Okay.
Septic tank, all of those types of issues. ADA, so our seniors, we have a significant senior population, our seniors who need help preparing their home as they age. We want to help with all those types of things.
Do you have a limit as to how many you serve a year, or how does?
So we do have a limit. It's supposed to be once every now 10 years for assistance, but we can take a look at specific situations, but it's once every 10 years.
And when does it
Per
start?
person, is that per person?
Yes, per person.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, per person.
And when does it? Is there a window as far as
So yeah, our
calendar
portal
window?
opens and closes. All of that is on our website, or you can call and we can
Okay.
give you that information. But yes, you can imagine there are a number of people who need assistance, and we try to get to as many as we can.
Good. Thank you.
Will you tell us why that was created? Do you know? Does
The
anybody
housing-
know
So
why?
you were here when that was created. I wasn't. You speak to it, please.
Right. No, it was trying to not so much identify people, but there were people that did not qualify for what was coming down from HUD. So at that time, the board created their own program, the Clayton County program, and as a matter of fact, the acronym HUG, and you gave what HUG stands for. But that's how that was created, so people could qualify that may not have qualified under the HUD program, which was the federal program and
Exactly.
all. So, well, I'm glad to know that you all still have that.
Yes, ma'am, we do.
And all. About how many families per year?
So that number continues to grow, and we now have a full-time person dedicated to that program.
Okay.
So I'll just tell you, for this year, 2025, we're on pace to see about to assist maybe about 50 homeowners, maybe 50 to 60 homeowners. Yeah. So we're growing.
Okay.
Yeah, the need is great, and we want to meet that need.
Okay. So where do you all stand with senior housing?
So when you say senior housing, what do you mean? You mean, so we've done some bond inducement for, if you've, I think I saw you at Riverdale, Hearthside Riverdale, the senior community,
Yes.
the new senior community. So the housing authority, not me, but the board approved bond inducement for that senior development, and we're looking at a number of other ones.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good job.
Thank you. And now lastly, I want to mention is the Housing Task Force. So thank you, Commission, the $200,000 grant from the Atlanta Regional Commission. So this board is responsible for the creation of the Housing Task Force.
Good.
Because they recognize that we needed a comprehensive housing strategy, so we're all on the same page. And we get what we want in Clayton County from a housing and a development perspective. So thank you for accepting those funds and allowing us to kind of move forward with that.
All right.
Do
Well,
you all have a connection with the Jonesboro Authority?
We do. We didn't initially, but we do now. We do now. We have what I would consider a really good relationship. So Tammy Stanley, their board chair, we speak often, and she's a member of the task force, the housing task force.
Great.
and how does that? I was going to ask you, Commissioner, the Reverend Grants program. The is it CCSA down the street from them? They also do housing as well, don't they? Housing grants.
Well, I think they just do what comes down from the federal government.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do y'all
energy
connect with them as
programs.
well?
We do. We do.
Okay,
And we have a
okay.
strong referral partner relationship
Right.
with them.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
So
all
thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
All
you all
right.
for the
Thank
job
you
you
so
do.
much.
Y'all have a good day. All right. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, next will be item 2, which will be the City of Lovejoy Youth Council. And we have our awesome and wonderful councilwoman, Kirby of Lovejoy. Please come up. And we have, is that our mayor over there? Yes. All right. We have our beautiful mayor of Lovejoy who is here tonight. And you can stand and be recognized, Mayor. I know we've been together a lot, but let's give her a round of applause. I just want to say that we're, and you don't mind me saying this, we're working together to do a Tier 2 task force with all of the mayors, because we're trying to take Clayton County from Tier 1 to Tier 2. So we've been meeting a lot, and we're going to continue to meet a lot so we can work on housing. And housing is a part of moving us from that Tier 1 status to Tier 2 as we make, do home stabilization for our citizens here in Clayton County to better their quality of life. So thank you for all that you all are doing. Thank you for all that you do, Mayor. We appreciate you. All right, Councilwoman Kirby.
Good evening, everyone. Chairwoman,
Good evening.
Commissioner Hambrick, good evening. I am Rosanna Kirby with the City of Lovejoy, and we are, this evening, I'm presenting to you our junior mayor, Jasmine Garcia, and Joshua, and they'll make our presentation.
All right, Junior Mayor. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me. Good afternoon, Commissioners. On behalf of the City of Lovejoy Youth Council, I'm here to propose that the ownership of a small park located on Hastings Bridge Road at the corner of Talmadge Road next to landfill be transferred to the City of Lovejoy. Youth use public spaces just as much as anyone else, if not more. But too often, young people, especially those ages 12 to 18, are left out of decisions about how these spaces are created. Instead of being seen as part of the community, we're labeled as loiterers, which adds to negative stereotypes, something especially troublesome for those who are already considered at risk. When young people are engaged in creating youth-friendly third spaces, it gives them a real sense of pride and ownership. They start to feel invested in their community. I have lived in Lovejoy my entire life, and yet for years, I have never seen a single person at this particular location. That's why the Lovejoy Youth Council is working to create a space that's not just accessible, but tailored specifically for teens. A leader's job is to engage the whole community, and that includes our youth. Giving them a safe place sends a clear message: you belong here. It builds respect, stewardship, and a lasting pride in their city. We've already secured grant funding to bring this park to life, with plans to build a giant chess set, soccer goals, and teen-focused areas. We're not asking for funding. We're simply asking for, 1, the transfer of ownership to the City of Lovejoy, and 2, that the county make sure that the grass is cut and that facilities, such as bathrooms, are in good condition before handoff. And before we conclude, I would like to pass the microphone over to Josh.
Thank you. Hello, Commissioners. I would like to talk about a few reasons why I thought we came up with this decision to transform this park. One of them being, as she said earlier, this park is not very presentable, to the public. It's kind of got a lot of weeds and stuff, and it's not very clean. Here's the present appearance of the park. It also has a trail, like a walking trail back there, that's not accessible due to all the branches and stuff. So as you can see here, it's not very, you can't even really see it. It's a 3rd-mile walking trail. And yeah, it covers 7.6 acres. But one thing we want to transform it to is we wanted to add kind of like we kind of came up with a decision to maybe add like a soccer goal, like a soccer field, like a mini soccer field for everybody to play with, considering that the World Cup next year is coming up, so this would be one of the good reasons to do it. But not just that, because not everybody likes to play soccer. Another reason would be maybe just add some nice old-fashioned yard games, like a outdoor giant tic-tac-toe, got chess, we got a checkers table, old-fashioned, and the thing is with Lovejoy is when it comes to youth and trying to access different places to play for example, they're usually really expensive or something. We have the rec center down in Lovejoy, and they cannot access, it usually costs a lot of money to access that. All they have for free really to use this one basketball court, and not everybody likes to do basketball. Some people might not want to do soccer or chess or the little yard games. So when it comes to that, they want to find something that's free and really accessible. So it being a free and accessible thing, a nice and friendly environment will help out the city a lot when it comes to youth being involved in the parks and recreation for the community. Another reason is I'm very happy to say this, but we opened a nice food truck park, which is kind of adjacent to the park. This food truck park has a lot of food trucks from these small businesses, and it's become quite a popular attraction for the community. So having a park right next to, having the food truck park right next to this other park would kind of like attract them to each other. Like people from the food truck park want to come say, oh look, there's a nice playground, there's some nice games and stuff we can play. Why don't we go over there? Since it kind of can get overpopulated sometimes in the food truck park, extra space for them to be able to eat, and then people from the regular park would go to the food truck park and say, hey look, I'm getting hungry, who wants to go get some food? Being a teen and being in those situations, that would be really, really fun and helpful. So yes, we thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to come say this, present to you this opportunity. Thanks.
All right. Well, thank you all very much, and I want to commend you all for a awesome presentation. Let's give these young people a round of applause. Also, any questions at this time? Commissioner Hambrick?
Yes. Okay, so this will be a park for teenagers?
So we're not trying to get rid of the playground. What we're trying to add is stuff that's pretty much available, well, catered towards youth around 12 to 18. So it is technically for teenagers. In this area, we already have another park less than a 3-minute walk away that is much more popular. And we have basketball courts that is, again, like 3 minutes walk away. What we're trying to add is things that are not just for the sporty teens or kids, 8 and under, with chess sets and stuff. Of course, we're going to have adults here. We're going to have, kids of all ages. But we're trying to get one dedicated space for teenagers where, as we said before, a third space, which for those who don't know, it's outside of the school or work, and it's outside the home. And unfortunately, I don't think I can say Lovejoy has many of those. So,
What's the name of that park again?
I'm actually not sure the official name.
What's the name of that park? Landfill Park. Okay.
Okay, now, you mentioned that you all wanted ownership.
Yes, the main goal of us being here today is for the ownership to be transferred from Clayton County to the city of Lovejoy. It would be managed by the city of Lovejoy. What the youth council's position would be more so to organize the activities there, help promote it, and whatever we could reasonably do to our extent, but it would be owned by the city of Lovejoy.
Okay, so you know what ownership means?
That you cut the grass.
Yes.
Exactly. That the upkeep will be Lovejoy. Have you all discussed that?
Have y'all talked about that?
Yes, as a city, it has already been agreed upon, and this is quite frankly our last step before we can put our grant money to good use.
So you all will be cutting the grass
Yes.
and keeping it clean and
Yes.
all those things?
And something I had emphasized before is that we're just asking before it's handed over that one last grass
that's
is
what you were
cut,
asking.
and then
Gotcha.
that the facilities itself are in good condition, so that when we do take ownership of it, that we can, as soon as possible, get it up and running.
Let me say this. I would think that we would need to, talk with our Parks and Rec department, director and all, and get feedback from them, and then they make a recommendation to to our board.
Okay.
So, we can't say, yes, we'll do it or whatever. So, I will go, and I'm assuming that the other board members will go on the recommendation from our Parks and Rec department.
Great. Thank you for
Have you all spoken with them?
Yes, we have.
Okay. And they did explain ownership?
Yes. As a city, quite frankly, no one knew about that trail, and no one uses it.
I didn't know about that park.
Exactly.
We have a park really close that is very popular, and it's sad to see. The park is maintained, the grass is cut, but if no one's there, and Lovejoy is not a large area, if we can have a dedicated space, like I said, that we can improve on, and we have the funds to improve on, that's why we're trying to get ownership to, turn it into something that welcomes people.
Okay.
Well, and I'm thinking
And
too, there may be some conversation that you all may need to have as far as saying, it is dedicated to teens, because I don't know how you all would handle if other people were to use the park or whatever. So that may be some discussion that you all might want to have, before actually taking over.
Yes. Well, we've actually have discussed to an extent what 4 teens means. I would say Lovejoy is unfortunately getting a bad reputation. We oftentimes are seen as people who skip school, who, are wandering around. But are they wandering around because they don't have anywhere else to go? We don't have sidewalks. We are in a lot of areas. We have a basketball court on one side and a park at the bottom. So, other people may be attracted to this area. But if we can get a set space, then maybe we can change the narrative of what a teen, what they can do in Lovejoy.
Okay. Is it near the school?
No, it is not near the school. So the way Lovejoy is mainly set up is the, top portion is mainly residential, and then the bottom portion, oftentimes in Hampton, that's where the schools are located. So we don't really have anything youth centered on the entire area where most people live.
And Mayor Fluellen, please come up.
Yes, I just wanted to applaud the Youth Council for the wonderful work that they've done and the presentation that they've made, but also make it very clear that they have the complete backing of the mayor and council in Lovejoy. We're very poised and ready to take over ownership, and we fully understand what that ownership means. And even if the county is not able to put it in pristine condition before signing it over, it's not something that will stop us. We will take care of that once it's in our jurisdiction. And they mentioned that it is a place where they want to bring inclusion for teens, but it would be open to everyone in the public to use it, of course. But what they're trying to do is take care of something that's missing in the community, and a dedicated space where there are activities that teens can gather and enjoy, we don't have. And so that's what they're wanting to add to the aesthetics of what's there. But the playground that takes care of toddlers would still remain. And so the parents would still be able to bring their children, of course, and enjoy that. And with enhancements to the walking trail, then the entire family can enjoy the park. So those are some of the ideas that they've presented to the council, and we're supporting them 100%.
So maybe you all can explain to us, and definitely to Parks and Rec, what are you all thinking getting the park up to, standards or whatever? What would that entail?
Cleaning up the fallen trees and branches that are on the walking trail, reestablishing the walking trail, and maybe even putting down some new padding so that it's very easy to see, easier to walk, putting some night lighting out there, or elements that make it easier for people to access it and be able to use it. And then for the playground area, it's really only toddlers, something there for toddlers. And there's a lot of green space that's there that it's not being utilized. And so adding additional activities to that space so that those green spaces can be used for older children. So those are the kind of things that the Junior Council saw an opportunity to enhance the park.
Okay, so we would have to actually build a walking trail.
No, the walking trail is already there. It's
There,
been there
okay.
for years.
Just
Yes,
clean
ma'am.
it.
It's just a lot of
needs to be
branches,
cleaned.
falling trees, leaves, things of that sort. Walking trails require regular maintenance to keep them going, especially when they are embedded inside of a green space and not outside or surrounding. And so if this is moved over to the jurisdiction of the city of Lovejoy, then that gives us the opportunity, while we're there in downtown taking care of our property, we would have the jurisdiction to then take care of this property on a regular basis as well.
How do those trails connect to Lovejoy? Are they,
At this point, they do not.
Not- okay.
It is a separate trail of its own.
Okay.
But of course, as I've mentioned to you before, if this is successful, then there will be a connection so that, the community can enjoy a very nice sized walking trail with different elements to it.
Again, I definitely take a recommendation from our Parks and Rec department and
Yes,
all.
ma'am.
And I'm sure they will cover those things. Is that correct?
oh, come on up, Ms.
Uh-oh.
Are you coming up, Ms. Horn? No?
Good evening, Madam Chair, Commissioner Hambrick.
Yeah.
First of all, I want to commend the youth for coming here
They did
to
a good job.
have a conversation about the park in your community. You did a very good job with your presentation explaining what you would like to see in your park. We just want to give a little bit of a backstory about the park, if you will.
What's the name of the park?
Landfill
Landfill,
Park,
landfill.
and I think you
Landfill.
might see in some
Landfill.
areas where it says South Clayton Park, depending on what you're looking at.
Okay.
But traditionally, it was a playground that was placed in a green space. Within that, the Parks and Recreation Department had maintained the grass. As it pertains to the trail, it's not a trail that was in our inventory in terms of a usable, walkable trail that we maintain like at Rex Park or at International Park. and then in some areas of Flat Shoals Park. It is a walking path area that is back there that could be developed into a trail, but it backs right up into the landfill. Early on, when I became the Parks and Recreation Director, we did do an assessment of the parks as we were regenerating or remodeling our playgrounds and those of that nature. And then there had been a conversation with the district commissioner and I think the mayor and the COO about transferring the park over to Lovejoy. A recommendation from the Parks and Recreation Department, and the COO, he can come up and speak as well. He has a little more institutional knowledge about it than I do, is that if the city of Lovejoy would like to us transfer the park over, Parks and Recreation, we don't have a problem with doing that as well, just to make sure that there's an understanding of who maintains the park, what it'll look like when you're making capital improvements or land improvements to the park, where that funding would be coming from, and what the programming and stuff looks like. Parks and Recreation, we're fine with transitioning that over, as long as we understand that Parks and Recreation would not be maintaining the park or developing trails or anything to that nature.
So is that something that would need to be done in writing, an agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
That's a Chuck.
Especially, and I'm particularly interested because I'm hearing two different things about the trail.
So it's not a formulated trail in terms of, so there's, I think there's a lake back there too, right? There's a little lake. So it's more of a oval circular pathway. It looks like someone years ago, but not the county, developed some walking area. It's equivalent to walking around the lake at International Park, but it's not a formable trail as you would see at International Park. There are some pavers, and it's back in the woods, and it backs up to our landfill.
What's the distance? I mean, is it about a fourth of a mile?
Less than that. It's
Oh, okay.
in a circular pattern.
Okay. Because they were talking about padding and all of that for the walking.
Yeah, you would have to pave it out and grade it out, and it goes in a circular path throughout
Would that
the
be
back of
us
the park.
or?
No, ma'am, that would not.
Oh.
Hey, Mr. Stanford.
All right, Mr. Stanford, please come up, COO.
Madam Commissioner, and Commissioner Hambrick, again, kudos to the youth for always trying to figure out ways to invoke what we consider energy into our respective community. So I really want to commend the leadership as well as the council for a job well done in trying to figure out ways to integrate that. But just to add on to a couple of things, y'all can clap. Just to add on, I think to give a little more historical perspective, the trail itself, again, was not a developed trail. And so that would be considered an additional inventory to the playground. I think the vision of the city of Lovejoy is to take the trail itself and connect it to Mayor's Park and some other areas so there is continuity in what they're doing. What I'm hearing the Youth Council talk about specifically is that they'll have different activities that you can do within now the joined park area. So therefore you have activities at what now is considered the Lovejoy or the landfill playground. That can become an activity for the teens, become more active there, and then it connects to other activities throughout the city. I think is ultimately the division. The preliminary discussion, and all it has been is preliminary, is the mayor and councilwoman talked specifically about if they take on the ownership, and we've had conversations as we've always done, have it with the district commissioner first. We had some conversations with the chairwoman about what it could potentially look like. And then once the council came forward, we can bring forth a complete plan to the board about what that could look like. So in theory, what will happen, we'll consider a deed over that land to the city of Lovejoy, or an IGA if we don't take over full ownership. And then the board will make a determination as to what you think is the best way of moving forward. So in essence, they would actually be maintaining the property themselves. Any funding that would go into place to including upkeep of the playground, any additional development will all be on the backs of the city of Lovejoy, unless of course there were some grant opportunities or we determined to go into partnership with the city as a whole. But again, the IGA would be something that we've done, as Parks and Recreation already talked about. It wouldn't be something that would hurt the inventory. They see the value of that being something that's happening right there in the backyard of the city of Lovejoy. And then ultimately, as this board sees fit, if you feel like that's something that we feel like would be of benefit, then pretty much we would deed that property over to the city, and then in turn, they will be responsible for any maintenance and upkeep that's needed from that point.
As we've been talking and all, and the name of the park, landfill, what effect might come from that, or is that one of the reasons that the county hasn't used it? Is that something negative?
No, I think the name was only about proximity.
Okay.
It just happens to be in close proximity to the landfill. There was no impediments, there was nothing that provided a safety component that comes with actually the build out. Over the years, even when I was in the park space, I know when Mayor Cartwright was in space, there was always a talk about the expansion of that, but money, timing, and a multitude of other things came into play that prohibited that from happening. But when it's all said and done, I think the spirit of the discussion now is that the city is looking at expanding their resources to do other things. As it pertains to impacting our inventory, it would not have an impact on the inventory in our system. And so it appears to be a win-win proposition for both parties. Again, notwithstanding, if the city sees there to be other needs, then of course that'll be other discussions. So if you need some grading done on the trail and all of that, then that's a larger conversation. But as it speaks right now, with the playground being the primary discussion, we don't see there being a big issue or a big deterrent if the city sees the value of taking that on and the board sees the value of deeding that over to them.
Okay. Or I'm still thinking, are there fumes and
No,
or
ma'am.
anything that
No,
comes?
ma'am.
Well, Landfill Road is nearby too, so
Right.
it's kind of just like
Okay.
the,
Well,
Yeah.
so-
we'll say a proximity of what's in the area is kind of how that's.
okay, well, maybe the youth commission, right? Maybe you all might want to change the name. I mean, really, like you say
Something more
landfill.
appealing than-
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just an idea,
So I think the last thing to add to that, of course, once we're able to get the particulars from the city and know all those nuances associated with that, we'll provide it to our legal staff to make sure that we're not running afoul any rules or regulations from that end. And then our hopes is then present something to the board to put on an agenda for you all to consider.
Okay, well, this question is for the youth commission. What do you all have in mind as far as a timetable that you all would like to see this happen?
Well, we hope to have it done. Well, we hope to have it started in a couple months. We got this as part of a land placing map. Location placing map. Location placing grants. And we do need to report our progress in a year, so we are hoping to have, something to present.
Okay.
And I will say that a lot of the more physical stuff that we have planned, such as the soccer field, possibly any murals, that can be done by youth. That's kind of our goal too, is to have, volunteers. So when there's a lot of kids in Lovejoy. So that in itself, what we expect is not going to take a long time. Maybe just like by December, we could possibly have quite a large place, something established.
And have you all looked at other parks as well that are similar to what you would say a team park would be? But again, you're integrating the other, the other ages as well. Have you all looked at other parks to see models from that?
We actually have. We were actually inspired to do this from another park.
Okay.
I don't remember what city it was, but we attended the Georgia Municipality Association
Good job.
conference,
Mhm.
and they had done something similar, and we all agreed that this is something Lovejoy needs. Personally, Jonesboro here, we love their park. We love how walkable it is, how there's kind of something for everyone. And I honestly think a lot of parks in Clayton County kind of represent those ideals. But yeah, we have reference photos. We have, what specifically we want and kind of why we want them. So there's definitely inspiration. There's a lot of inspiration we have.
What grade are you all?
We're both in 10.
What? I'm sorry.
We both are in going into our junior year of high school.
Okay.
Y'all have done an excellent job.
Thank you.
Also, the other youth commissioners that are, can you all stand as well? Y'all not, come on up. Let's give them a round of applause as well. You all have definitely done an excellent job and done your homework. So again, continue to look at those other parts, continue to compare and contrast, what's gonna work good for you all. I know on the, we have some pocket parks coming as well in Clayton County, and one of the pocket parks is focusing on skating. And so that's something that, we got volleyball, we know we got FIFA coming, but also kids love those skate parks and things of that nature. Pickleball, all of that. So you all just be creative and do what you do, and thank you for that clarification. COO,
Yes.
you can come forward.
Yes, ma'am. I just wanted to just echo one more thing that I think is important. The character of the landfill park is different from what your traditional parks have been, primarily because it's a standalone function.
Okay.
A lot of times you see playgrounds as wraparound services around it, right? Where that you have a ball field, or you have a concession stand, or you have a water park. You have other functions that support that. Landfill Park wasn't built that way. And so when Mayor's Park and some other elements came in play, you had adjacent resources, but it was being ran by two different jurisdictions.
Gotcha.
So now the synergy that's being brought forth, now that you have Mayor's Park and you have a city, that now we're looking at amenities in its totality opposed to a separate part, then we think that ultimately you'll get a better activity level out of that. So the youth were 100% correct about that it's barely used, because if you're going to utilize it, you're going to utilize it only for the playground. You're not doing other activities around it. By now joining those activities to be one, then hopefully you'll get a greater participation rate because of that. So again, kudos to you all for having the vision and trying to figure out ways to make those services to be more comprehensive. But Landfill Park was a unique proposition, and a lot of times you don't have playgrounds as a standalone. So I just want to bring that to the forefront.
All right. Thank you, COO. Stanford.
Because I love the babies. I am the Parks and Recreation Director, but I love the babies. And I just want to extend to you all, regardless to how this works out, our department is open for any advice that you might need as you design and construct your park. We have a whole level of expertise in my department, so if there's any questions or anything that you may have, we'll be more than willing to help you answer those questions and make sure you develop a quality park. Okay? You're welcome.
Thank you, Director Hunter. And thank you all. And again, we're going to continue to look at this. And you guys, again, just be great. Continue to be great. And you all did an excellent job. You all spoke well. You were very eloquent. You answered. If you can answer Commissioner Hambrick's questions, you did really well, because she's going to drill and skill you. So again, you've had your first drill and skill. So again, go forth and do great. We expect greatness out of you all. Thank you. All right. All right. Next on our agenda is we're gonna strike number 3, the online payment system, and we're gonna move on into number 4, which will be the digital equity community fiber, which will be from Mr. Kia Thomas.
Wait a minute. Which one?
So Pam is not going. Pam is not going. So
We're doing this one.
yeah, we're moving on down to 4.
Red.
I got good Pam. She's not gonna do that. Well, Mr. I thought Ms. Thomas was coming up.
Takia we work pretty closely with
Okay,
Takia.
okay.
She's
And
doing her
state
job
your
well.
name for us as
Sorry,
well.
yes, Keith Quarles, President CFO with E-Community Fiber, and I have with me Carlton Lockhart, who's our Director of Market Sales.
And where you guys located? What's your
We
location?
are in Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
So we own a company called E-Community Fiber. We're a broadband utility company. We're a little different than your typical AT&T Comcast in that we own and operate the network, but we let others use it. So similar to like Atlanta Gas Light, they basically own and operate the actual gas lines, but then they have SCANA and others that use it. So that's our business. You can go to the next slide. We came into your county around 2022. We purchased the network that was it's a pretty large network that services all the schools. So the network on the map, as you can see, we do go down to Lovejoy, by the way. We just couldn't fit on the cutoff. So we bought this in 2023, and since then we've basically been expanding it to service residential, business, do some partnership with different cities and so forth, and that's when of course, we began interacting with your digital equity department. And that's been a great experience. Ms. Thompson done a great job as far as putting in effort and work to make sure that that broadband is spread throughout the whole county. And that's really what we're here to do, is to see how we can further our efforts, not just on our own, but through some form of partnership with the county. And so on the map here, like I said, is some of the stuff we're already doing. We actually have a formal partnership with the City of Morrow, for example, that's around doing smart city, expanding into their little town district. We're doing more residential throughout, and we just want to go where the demand grows, right? Lovejoy, I mentioned as well, is definitely another one of our targets. We see that there's a significant need down there as well. So as we've kind of matured and grown in your county, we've been talking with the county IT and COO about to explore some form of partnership. If you go to the next slide, that'd be great. And so what that, and P3 for everybody's public-private partnership, this abbreviation for space. So we feel that because we're carrier agnostic, like we're not directly to the consumer in that sense, we're a little bit unique in that we can partner with the municipality in a more agnostic way, where you're not competing with one of your incumbents, and that's why we had good success with City of Morrow and some others in the state actually. And so we know you guys have your own pretty extensive fiber network. We have as well. And so the ask today is to explore a partnership where we join forces, use some of your public monies. Your CO has let us know that there's some monies that they want to put to work. We're willing to volunteer our private monies and see what we can do together versus separately. So just kind of for some ideas for this this body here, to kind of give an example, things like a countywide public access network, right? That's a lot. As a municipality, there's some things that prevent you from doing certain things, and as a private entity, is vice versa. But together, we could actually make a pretty big impact and provide some very substantial public access throughout the entire county. Smart City County Network, not to get too techie, but basically when you take your own enclosed network that you own and expand it to, Wi-Fi or sensors, maybe that's for traffic, that can be for landfill management, that can be for all types of things. That really is twofold. One, makes you a more efficient government as you run, but also a service, improving just the general services to the public. So these are things that nationally, globally are happening, and Clayton County is actually in a very unique position by having your own network that you can leverage with a company like us to really do some pretty substantial things. One topic that we're also talking is how can we improve public housing and senior living. Again, a space that on your own potentially you may come in conflict with the local AT&T or Comcast, but in this scenario, in a P3, you could actually enhance that, still deliver these services to the community, but allow the AT&Ts and the others to use it to deliver their services. And then the last idea, one of the other ideas that we're talking to your folks on is being able to, there's a desire to potentially service the general public where the local incumbent just has decided not to invest their dollars, right? And so we can help with that as well. And is really what we're doing already. There's areas in Riverdale that we've expanded where, and again, I don't want to make the incumbents the bad guys, but if they're going to spend their dollars here, we're spend ours here, so that at the end of the day, the entire county is covered. And again, that's our goal. So we can probably skip the last slide for the sake of time. Yeah, that's a little too techie. Back to that. We'll say that. But yeah, so basically the ask is, I would say let's see if we can explore partnership. I mean, there's nothing really. There's still a lot of work to be done just to formulate what that looks like. But I think there's interest between us, your digital equity department, and a few conferences with your COO. I think there's some interest there. So that's our ask.
Commissioner Hamrick, any questions at this time?
Commissioner.
Okay, are you all doing work now,
schools?
presently with Clayton County?
Not directly, no.
Oh, okay. Because I saw this list and some of these things we're doing already.
Go, yeah. So that's and that's. Say again.
The school system, that's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah. So that's our.
No.
No, sorry.
IT, working with the seniors.
No, I'm talking about, he said that they were working with the school system at one point in time.
Yeah, we service the school system
Okay.
today.
All 72 locations.
Okay.
Yeah. That didn't answer your question.
They didn't.
Yeah, so I think the best way to say it is, yes, we're in discussions with the county to enhance and go beyond what you're
What
doing
we're
today.
doing,
right.
That's right. There you go. Right.
Okay.
That's really discussion.
Smart. Public housing. What about,
Okay, so what's your ask again?
To explore partnership with, I believe, COO's department, to partner and and utilize some of the public monies you have left in this space, and combine with our private dollars to do some form of expansion project.
and what type of expansion project are you looking at? Would it be affordable housing? I mean,
That's what we form. I mean, the last conference call was exploring those ideas, and then we said, well, let's come to the what's your name? I forget. Dietrich said, yeah, let's come to a work session, kind of bring this forward before. I think he, and again, I'm speaking on yeah, I think he wanted to kind of get some form of okay before he kind of explores it to the next, takes it to the next level.
And also the CIO has a strategic plan
Okay.
for IT infrastructure for the county.
okay.
Okay, and so there are some funds.
And I'm sorry, what's your name again?
I'm Carlton Lockhart.
Okay, all right.
Pleased to see you both again.
Okay.
So there are some funds, it's called ARPA, that were made available. Those are drying up, and the county hasn't gotten as far as they wanted with that strategic plan. We can partner on that level. And in addition to that, as we're saying, in terms of public housing, senior living facilities, also in other residential areas, as new residential areas come under development, as we've done at Walden Park, if you're familiar with that one. We've got fiber in that development too, there's over 600 homes. And as other developments come in, one of the things that the county can look at doing is coding, encoding requirements to use fiber so that you have the latest future-proof infrastructure, good for 50 to 100 years, right, for expansion. And that's something that you can partner with us on, and actually that can be part of the county's infrastructure for the future.
So have you all spoken with our department that's working on this already, or?
Our meeting here is a result of a conference call we had with Dietrich's team and the
Ms.
CIO.
Summers. Okay.
Okay, so I'm just trying to figure out, maybe I can check with Dietrich to find out how this will work. Is it, what's profitable for us in this?
Say again, I'm sorry?
What's
What's
profitable?
profitable for us?
Well, one, there's
Us being Clayton County, the residents and the county government and all.
Sure. So the monetary profitable one, there's a set of monies as Carlton said that has to be used, right? So what we're saying is use that. We'll probably bring some private monies as well, and let's have some form of potential revenue share. So that's a direct monetary profitable. To just the general public, to the public, I would say that the profitable, the benefit is you as the county are doing everything you can to ensure that every citizen, every business or whatever has access to fiber broadband throughout, and affordable. not just has it, but affordable.
Right.
And within the other part is, as I said, in public housing, senior living, in areas and facilities that otherwise wouldn't be invested in. You're putting forth that, and that's what you're doing to the benefit of those institutions as well.
Okay.
All right. Well, again, thank you for your presentation tonight, and again, we'll just look further into this as a board, and I do understand what you're talking about as far as those ARPA funds drying up, and we do need to look at some different things we need to look at as far as our fiber is concerned. So just, I say, just give us time to look at it. Circle back, and then we'll go from there.
No problem, no problem. Thank you for your time.
All
Thank
right.
you all.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right. And item 4 is next, enhancing emergency care, and that will be from Chief Sweat.
So good evening, Madam Chair, Commissioner Hambrick. Thank you so much for allowing us to come before you tonight and announce what we feel will be a game changer when it comes to providing emergency medical care to the county citizens and visitors of Clayton County, and that is the delivery of whole blood products in the field prior to arriving at the local hospital facility. So introduction to our purpose. Our introduction is to inform and seek support for pre-hospital blood administration by Clayton County Fire and Emergency Services. So why it matters. Rapid blood transfusion can be life-saving in trauma, hemorrhage, and shock cases. Our goal is to improve patient survival and outcomes in the pre-hospital setting. So a little quick note there on the right, this is some 2022 stats. So 911 responded to over 1.5 million crashes in 2022. Of those calls, under 169,000 had seriously injured individuals. An additional 55,000 calls for fire departments to have to actually extricate patients from the vehicles. And a little over 8,700 those patients were completely ejected from a vehicle. Once again, in 2022, 42,500 people died in traffic crashes, but of those, 42% were still alive when first responders arrived, and that is the subset of patients that we are trying to hone into with this whole blood. So the medical need, uncontrolled bleeding is a leading cause of preventable death and trauma. As we all know, the golden hour, the first 60 minutes of our work are extremely critical. Blood administration in the field reduces mortality and the severity of hemorrhagic shock. In 2024, Clayton County alone had 259 major trauma calls. The map on the left is a map of the county, and the highlighted dark-colored areas of the county are those that denote the 259 major trauma calls that we had in 2024. Of those calls, this basically equates to 1 every 33.8 hours. We have a major trauma call from within our county. Of those 259 calls, reviewing those, we feel that over 100 plus or minus patients of those calls could have been given whole blood in the field prior to being transferred to the hospital. Additional medical need is the postpartum hemorrhage is a significant contributor to maternal deaths in Georgia. From 2018 to 2020, 30.2 pregnancy-related deaths per 100,000 live births. So once again, over 100,000 live births, 30.2 pregnancy of those births were related in death. And the leading cause of that, 1 was being hemorrhage, 2 mental health, and 3 the cardiac-related conditions. Of those deaths, 89% had at least some chance of being prevented, once again, with the potential of being able to administer whole blood in the field. So how will it work? CCFES will carry Type O whole blood, will be administered under protocol by paramedics with advanced training, monitor for safety, transfusion reactions, and transport time. And once again, it's in coordination with our medical control and all of our trauma centers. So the benefits to the community: increased survival rate from trauma, faster stabilization before hospital arrival, positions the county as a leader in advanced pre-hospital care, supports regional and mass casualty readiness, and reduces roadway fatalities. I built this presentation about 2 weeks ago to submit it, and at the time, there was no fire-based EMS entity in the state administering whole blood. When I say fire-based, Clayton County is uniquely presented in that our fire department also runs our emergency medical services. You really don't see that very much. A lot of fire departments outsource that. So of the fire-based EMS services in the state of Georgia, 2 weeks ago, no fire-based service was doing this. However, last week, the first one jumped ahead of us, so there is another one who's trying to get it off the ground. But I'll call you after a while, Commissioner.
We don't know that.
So, but we're pleased. We're thankful for them because we truly feel this is going to be a game changer, and it will save lives moving forward. So some of the implementation needs, training, all of our paramedics will receive the required additional training. Equipment, there'll be coolers, warmers, IV infusion sets, and temperature monitors to monitor the blood. For our deployment strategy, we'll have 2 supervisors who will be responsible for the transport of blood to the scene, 1 supervisor on the north end of the county, 1 supervisor on the south end of the county. Through a unique partnership with Southern Regional Medical Center, they have committed to providing the blood at no cost to our service for the first year. So once again, seeking board's approval to implement this with partnering with Southern Regional. Once again, they have committed to providing the blood to us for the first year at no cost. So implementation needs, already spoke to the support were to accept the agreement between us and Southern Regional Medical Center for the purposes of obtaining blood. In addition, we are looking at adjusting our fee structure update, which accounts for the blood administration. So we're looking at doing a update to code 42-120. The recommendation is to add an itemization charge of $650 for the administration of the blood, which will be applied in addition to our ALS rate of $1,500. So once again, our proposed fees, BLS rate stays $1,100. Our ALS rate will remain at $1,500. If blood is administered, then the additional cost of $650 will be added to that transport. Then once again, our critical care and our loaded mileage will stay the same. So with that, I'm looking to get both of those, hopefully to the August 4th agenda meeting, or the BOC meeting for your support. And with that, I'll turn it back to you, Madam Chair, for questions.
Commissioner Hamrick, any questions at this time?
Well, actually, I have to study this because I'm trying to figure out here.
This is extremely new. Well, I don't want to say it's new. I wish Chief Merck was here because we were discussing whole blood in Clayton County right before the pandemic
So what's
hit.
whole blood? I mean, is that
Whole blood. It's if you get admitted to the hospital and you need blood, it is the exact same. We will be doing it in the field while en route to the hospital. A lot of our trauma patients, our leading causes of deaths on the highways are
They
from
don't get the
traumas with major blood loss, which right now we have nothing to replenish that major blood loss. With the addition of this to our protocols, we will carry the whole blood. There's no difference. We'll get it from the blood bank at Southern Regional. It'll be stored on 2 supervisor vehicles in coolers that are monitored 24/7 for the proper temperature. And then if a major trauma call comes out, north end of the county and or the south, one of those 2 supervisors will respond with our crews. If the patient shows signs of needing whole blood, then we'll provide that while en route to the hospital.
And if they don't, what do you do with that blood?
So the blood remains on the truck. We have a robust software program that we're going to purchase along with it that basically monitors the blood, and it's every 7 days, Chief Buck? It's swapped out?
7 days from expiration, it goes back
Yeah.
to the hospital for it to be used in the hospital.
Okay.
Yes.
We try not, it's not going to expire.
Right.
It will be used either by us or by the hospital.
Thank you.
Well,
Yeah, let me study this.
And you said the patient would be responsible for the $650?
Yes, ma'am, that would be,
Okay.
we're just asking to make a change to our proposed fee schedule to add that additional cost of $650 to that ALS transport cost.
So what budgetary effect?
Impact is it?
Right now, there is nothing. This project is fully funded for a year at no cost to the county.
Fully funded by,
Southern Regional, who will deliver the whole blood.
oh,
Yes, ma'am.
And basically, you're doing it so when people are in traumatic situations, again, they're trying to get to, they're on the way to the hospital and they need that whole blood.
so what's your date?
We are trying to go live by the 2nd week of September. There's a lot of training. We have to train every single paramedic in our department. In addition to some additional supervisor training, protocols we got to write, some internal SOGs we got to change. Once again, have to get some agreements in place. But we're looking to go live by the 2nd week of September.
So will this be helpful to our unit that, the health unit that goes around?
Like our mobile clinics?
Yes.
No, the blood itself has to be controlled in an environment. So while we are purchasing the infrastructure, will outfit
So
2 of our
strictly-
supervisor vehicles, which
Strictly
are
for
basically.
emergencies, I guess.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Well, what I'll do.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you, Chief. And then what I'll do is, any questions that the board members may have, I'll just tell them to direct it to you in regards to
Yes, ma'am.
the emergency care services. And again, thank you. Awesome job.
Thank you both. Appreciate you.
All right, thank you. All right. Anything else, Commissioner Hamper? You good? All right. Well, I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. Again, thank you for the love, joy. Is it Youth Commission? Youth Commission? Youth Council as well. I'm Commissioner. But thank you guys for coming out. You all did an excellent job. And again, our meeting is adjourned. Our work session is adjourned tonight as of, what time? 6:39 p.m. You all have an awesome evening and continue to just be safe out there. And again, we appreciate it. And I'm coming from a picture too. All right.